Girls, girls, girls. That is what we were discussing today because what is currently happening out there in the world is no, we can only do so much. We can only take so much, and I feel like talking this out is the only way to metabolize some of the feelings besides going on a hike, which I am going to do. But of course, first I'm making my second coffee of the day because I definitely don't need it. But gonna do that, go for my hike, but I need to just talk first, otherwise I will be swallowed alive by news. So let's just talk about girls, about women, whatever you want to identify as. I don't care. You do you. I love it for you. If you're happy, that means the world is happy. So let's do it. I am in the process of putting down all my thoughts for helping women deal with the burden of being a woman in today's world. And I am an acupuncturist and herbalist, so I am building out something that is using those modalities as well as other things that I've learned along the way. But I wanted to talk about, first and foremost, why this is important to me. And I've had a tough time explaining it, or I guess like understanding it myself, until recently it kind of clicked. I myself have lived in a city. I have tried to do all the things. I was trying to be a high achiever, but also didn't really want to be a high achiever, but also that was just me and I couldn't really help it, but also I was really tired by it. And I ended up, when I lived in New York City many years ago, I ended up going through this thing where all of my lymph nodes throughout my entire body were swollen and painful. And I went to multiple different doctors, mostly to get testing done just to see if it, was something like cancer, because honestly, at the time, that's what I thought it was, because I'm like, what the fuck is this? I have never experienced anything like this. Also, it's like when you search things like that, there's not a ton that's going to come up, at least when I searched it back then. And so the only thing that was found was that I had Epstein-Barr in my system, that virus, at some point, but we don't know when. And I basically just took that whole experience as, oh, okay, my body is under immense stress, and stress actually means something. And that was the first time that I ever took stress seriously, because you really don't take it seriously, especially when you are younger and you're like, stress, like, yeah, I mean, I feel stressed, but it doesn't give me any symptoms that I can't handle. Like, you just think, who cares, like, I'll deal with that when I am older and am an adult, like, you just don't even really think about it. But that was my first experience as a person who was pretty young, where I was like, oh my God, like, stress does this? Like, that's crazy that it has this big of an effect on my body, to the point where I'm recognizing symptoms that are pretty severe for someone my age to be living with. So that happened, and I did a bunch of things over the period of like 10 years now, where I put myself in a much better place And I do still go back and forth with having to introduce modalities that I once used before, and then I was feeling better and I was able to phase them out, and I do have to go back and, reuse them now in times where life is very stressful, and I am a person who likes to do things that are bringing me towards self-actualization and feed my passion, like feed my heart as a human being. And I can't really help that. It's just something that I want. I guess, venture to say that everyone wants that, but I do think some people are okay not having it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But I am speaking to the people who feel like their brain and their heart's desire is to create and do things and do well by other people, but it also is fucking exhausting for them as well. And it's confusing because you are supposed to be able to do both of those things when you're young. And I would consider young, I mean, 0 to 70 is young. I could see maybe, you start getting over 70, maybe you got some aches and pains here and there. You're not really feeling it anymore. Like, I put in my work. Like, that's great. Love that for you. You should coast. But the rest of us are young. My point is that if you are a woman who feels the weight of the world constantly because you should, because the weight of the world is on you and it has always been on you, and I don't know how long it will continue to be on us, there is constant subliminal and not subliminal, just blatant stuff and hate and pressure being spewed toward us that is so difficult to bring into your world, work through, and then also be a functioning adult. I think women deserve more recognition, more rest, more reward, and more respect. So those are my 4 R's. And there are many more words that I could put in there, but I want to contribute in whatever way that I can and be a conduit of change, even if it's on a quote unquote small scale. I now have this career where I can do that, and I can actually have useful modalities that I know work to back it up. So this is kind of like does anyone resonate? How do you feel about being a woman? What is being a woman to you? And I can just tell you that there's so much strength and so much wisdom between us where it's just uncanny, like what we have as women. And I can't wait to celebrate it and to make women feel good, because women are always the ones who fall to autoimmune conditions, chronic illness, because the weight of the world is truly crushing us. And if anyone can be any sign of hope for you, I hope that that's enough to help you out of it, because the world needs all women on deck. The world needs women to feel good, and that is the only way that the world will ever survive. The feelings of overwhelm, of burden, of anger, rage, sadness, confusion, the list goes on. Those are all normal, and they don't always have to be a main emotion for you, there are other ways than maybe what you've tried to get some of those to kind of fall away as main emotions for the day. And what's hard is there's so many practices out there, especially now with all the like stuff and supplements and whatever. It's just like every day it's something else. And I'm not necessarily so mad at it because I feel like we didn't have anything for a while, but it is a little much. And I understand that some of them for sure have good motives, but then other ones I'm like, this is clearly just a huge corporation that put money behind this random thing to make it seem sustainable and little like small business owned, but it's like not at all. And that I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, there are ways that don't require a ton of external support that you can do for yourself, and that's kind of where I'm going with my thing. I want the herbs or other supplements to be a part of the picture, but not the whole picture. And I want you to feel like you have strength and power in yourself, and it was mostly you that created this new reality for yourself. So yeah, that is what I am working on, and that's that. I think my main point with this was just to kind of talk out some things that are just over and over running through my head, and I can't just do that. I can't ruminate anymore, and I just needed to release them. And we'll see what I come up for next time. Thanks for listening.